Once you find a picture of a bride walking away, and she's supposed to have black hair, sometimes you can't get picky because this is a difficult picture to find. Went ahead and go under Select, and I'm going to load selection just to show you that I have made a channel called Woman and a channel called Hair, because the hair is there for when I want to change the color of the hair. So once you get this selection, then you can jump it to a new layer, Command J, and you have this woman isolated on a transparent background, and then you can grab her. I'm going to hit F a couple times in order to see our cropped image, and then with the move tool, you just grab her, pull her up. I'm still holding down the mouse button, and typically I hold down Shift in order to drop the selection right into the middle of the image, and then you can move her and place her wherever you want on the path. You know, the scale is important. What size is she going to be? If she comes in huge, you have to scale her down, and you do that by hitting Command T and then holding down Shift, because you don't want to make her tall and skinny, or you don't want to distort her. So you hold down Shift in order to constrain the proportions and make her the size you want her. I'm going to hit Escape to get out of that. And the question I'm sure you have is, wait a minute, how did you make that selection? So I'm not going to take you through the entire process, but let me just tell you, Photoshop has some amazing tools, but sometimes you have to get in there and just do it the hard way. To start with, though, if we go up to Select and select Subject, this is amazing. Photoshop has improved vastly over the old days. Now notice this selection includes most of her wedding dress. We're missing some pieces. It includes part of the sky here. It excludes it here. And it seems, we missed the flyaway hair. Who cares about that flyaway hair? Remember, this isn't a big image of a woman. It's a small image on a much larger picture. So you can go with the quick selection tool and try to add and subtract to this selection. But I'm telling you, I tried it. And yeah, you can make it work in some places, but it's terrible in others. I just decided the quickest way to do this, because I didn't want to waste time, was to spend about 15 minutes using the old school lasso tool. To add to a selection, you hold Shift. To subtract from a selection, you hold Option. I want to get rid of the blue sky here, so I'm subtracting. I'm going to hold down the spacebar and Command key to get my magnifying glass. Come in here, hold down Option in order to subtract from this selection. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can come in and select a little piece and come up, and then come down here and select a little bit more. And remember, this isn't going to be perfect, but lucky for us, it doesn't need to be perfect. And it just needs to be close. I want to add to this, so I'm going to hold down Shift and add to that selection. And now over here, I want to add, because it seems to be missing part of her arm. And again, don't try to do the whole thing. Photoshop will close up that curve. You just need to come down and do a little bit and a little bit, and you just work your way all the way around the image. So you say, what if the bell rings? What if I have to stop? Well, here you go under Select, Save Selection, and name it something like, temp or in progress or whatever. It doesn't matter. And then hit Command 0. We can hit Command D to deselect and say, oh, the next day, wait a minute, did I save that selection? Select, load selection, and it always defaults to that. But under here, hey, look, we've got some saved selections, including temp. And then you click OK. It loads the selection you had, and then you can come back in here and say, oh, I need to add to this wedding dress here, and I'm going to hold down the space bar to get the hand tool. and add the command key to the space bar, hand tool, just space bar. And then I can come in here, hold down shift, and start adding to the wedding dress. Not getting greedy, not trying to do too much, because if you mess up, it's a lot easier to just undo. Whoops, and it did appear that I messed up right there. And yeah, we got part of that dress. Command Z, I moved that selection. I was trying to hold down the space bar. We'll get back to, well, we're not going to do that, but down here it looked like, yeah. So we've got this weird thing here. I don't know if I was holding Option. I'm going to hit Command Z. Whoops. Command Z, Option, Command Z. There we go. Now I'm holding down the space bar and just add to this selection. I think I didn't pull out far enough, and that's why that happened. Okay, so you go and go and go until you get all the way around. Hit Escape, Command 0. I'm just trying to get this back out here. Hit Command D. Until you get everything selected, I'm going to select Load Selection and select my finished product. Click OK. And then on the background layer, hit Command J. Then you have the woman isolated on her own layer. And yeah, we still got to color her hair black. But for right now, let's say you found a woman with black hair. We need the Move tool. And you need to have this other image open. Whoops, I did this and that video screwed up. So let's come back here. And with this image, she's isolated here. Hide that. So you can see that's her. Click and drag. Don't let go of the mouse button. Hover over that. And I'm still holding down the mouse button. If I hold Shift and let go of the mouse button and then let go of Shift, she drops right in the center of the image. We don't want her floating in air. We want to place her on the path. Where do we want to place her, and how big is she? If we need to, let's say she came in really big. Let's say, I'm going to hold down Shift. Let's say she came in like that. Let me hit Return. That, not going to work at all. She's a monster. She'd have to be here on the path to be believable. And we don't want her right at the bottom of the poster. So you hit Command T, and again, you have to hold Shift. You don't want to do this to your image. Okay, hold down Shift, and then we can get her to be the perfect size for our image. Move her into position, a little big, figure out where she needs to go, and hit Return. And if you make a mistake and make her too small, instead of trying to make her larger again, go back, delete that layer, and come back here and just pull in this image one more time. Just drag it over. Got it? In order to change the hair color, you got to select the hair. The same kind of thing happens, and we'll get to that, but we're out of time. I'm late. I'm going to be late to school today. So there you go. There's your video, and happy working. For right now, as you drop her in, the next thing to do, because I haven't told you, if we jump over here, haven't told you how to make the shadow and all the rest of this stuff that I'm doing in order to make her look realistic in this poster. For right now, maybe start with type. And when you get to Type Kit, when you get to Type, Add Fonts from Type Kit, all you do is click the Sync button when you find a font you like. You have a limited number of fonts, so don't try to sync them all, because all of a sudden it'll say you've reached your limit. Got it? Have fun with this.